Hello, so I just finished teaching, so I'm jazzed, and I'm back to play some more piano. Alright, now we're working on Reverie by Debussy, still. I'm going to play the second page again, and I'm going to keep going. I have 30 minutes now. I've set my timer. It should be about 25 now, honestly. And when it goes, the video is going to cut off abruptly, but I'm going to do an outro, and then we're good. Okay. Oh, I need an F. We're going to play that again. Now this is actually the proper way to handle mistakes. The other day I did a practice session and I was going to cut out the first part of the video because I was playing Rondo alla Turca fast and I hadn't warmed up and it had been like 4 or 5 days since I'd practiced, and so it ended up having a ton of mistakes in it. And what I should have been doing as soon as I noticed, oh, a ton of mistakes, I should have played slower. Or I should have gone, okay, wait, I need to warm up. And I should have done that first. But what I did was, oh, well, I'll just edit this out of the video. And I was like, later, editor me is sitting there being like, no, that's not what we do. We don't cut out any practice. We be honest with everybody and reveal our failures. And so I'm not upset. I wasn't upset that I had played with so many errors. What I was upset with was that I didn't catch myself and go back over that and explain to you, yeah, I was playing too fast and I should be slowing down. So I didn't correct the playing errors, the errors in the way that I played. Mistakes happen, wrong notes happen, but when you notice them, you're supposed to correct the way you play to make them better. So, what I did this time, the first time I played, it was not very good. I had like 10 mistakes in the first 3 bars. But then I go, okay, we got to play slow, and that's going to help us not make mistakes. And you saw me play that just now. Pretty much no mistakes. Okay, we'll do it again, and then we'll keep going. This is another way music is a metaphor for life. There are so many applications to this. But one of the ways is everybody makes mistakes and everybody fails. You're wrong if you don't do something different next time. If you make exactly the same mistakes because you tried exactly the same method. There's nothing bad with making the mistakes because that's part of being human. It's part of growing up and learning and maturing, is to find out what you're doing wrong and fix it, and to fail at things and to learn from failures. But when you fail and you decide not to change anything you did so that you end up with the exact same result or worse, that's insensible. That's not a good life. And so music is just like that. If you find you're making a bunch of mistakes, don't worry about the mistakes themselves. That doesn't matter. Change your method and you will produce less mistakes. Okay. One more time, because I want to go from this. I'm actually going to go from this last measure into the next section. You don't want to get, here's another pro tip. You don't want to get in the habit of always starting from the same place or always starting from exactly places that make sense. I need to be able, my reading needs to be good enough that regardless of the mistake I make, I could start from anywhere. So I need to be able to go or start from somewhere even weirder. Let's start So when you're practicing, especially if you have to restart a section to work on it, don't start exactly on the measure or exactly at the beginning of this section, but start at odd places, odd beats, different notes that make you think a little extra, because that extra thinking, that hesitation, that takes you like so much longer to find the note, and that's why you don't want to start from a different place. That hesitation helps you know your song better. It helps you learn better, it helps you read better. So start from weird places. Speaking of weird place. Soft. Now you hear I'm getting faster and slower. Let's just keep it slow so that I can maintain a steadiness. More crescendo. Yes. Wrong. That's a B flat, not a D. Wrong fingers. Try that again. 5, 3, 2. Loud. Soft. Get quieter. Oops. Part of the song, the left hand takes over the melody. So that's why I'm going to be bringing out the left hand louder in this section. So you can hear that's the melody, that's the singing part, that's the beautiful part. This is accompaniment. Now this is again because I'm stretching the octaves, I'm starting to get sore in here. So I need to give my hand lots of time to recover. This section is kind of brief, so we'll just play through it once or twice, and then we'll move on so that she doesn't get hurt again. Now my right hand is too loud. My left hand needs to be louder than my right hand. We're going to exaggerate a bit. Is that right? is going bing, 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 bing. And this is through a pedaled section. Now the reason I'm doing that, I'll show you on the screen, is because this section displays staccatos. However, the whole song says with pedal. So I've got to play it with pedal and staccato in this section. Now the purpose of it, listen to this. Let me play it a little louder. That's with no staccato. Listen to the difference. The notes ring. It sounds pretty. So, when you see that, and it's on staccato, and it's with a slur, the slur and the staccato is confusing. The slur in this section doesn't mean to go smooth. It means this is a phrase. It also means you're pedaling it, so it's going to sound smooth. But because they've got a slur and the staccatos, prefer the staccatos. So if you see that in music, you see a slur and staccatos, those are antithetical concepts. Staccato means perky. Slur means smooth. They're opposites. Prefer the staccato because the slur either means phrase or it means you're pedaled, and so your staccatos, that's a smooth sound, but it's actually not. It's a staccato, it's a ringing, like a bell. When you like a big church bell, you know, bong, and the sound resonates. That's what you're aiming for here. Okay, louder left hand. Clef before, because that one switches to treble. No, do it again. See, in this whole section, so this sforzando, I'll show you on the screen. Sforzando means suddenly loud. And now you see how after, okay, look in measure 39. We have a pianissimo. In 40, we have a crescendo. So we're supposed to get loud in 40, but then we're supposed to be suddenly, strikingly loud in 41. And then the thing about sforzando is immediately after sforzando you go quieter. So you see how in measure 43 we have a mezzo forte. So we've crescendoed up to a mezzo forte. So I'm going to assume after sforzando we have a piano or a mezzo piano. Anyways, in this section, starting with the sforzando, this is where the right hand begins to take over the melody again. So I should actually be letting the right hand top notes ring out above the left hand notes. I'll explain a few things here. This arpeggio that the right hand is playing, the left hand is actually contributing. This is all between the right hand and the left hand. It's all one melody. They're combining to make one melody. It's very pretty. And so I've got to make sure to ring out my left hand notes where it complements the melody. So let me play this again so you can hear it. See, these notes, this accompaniment makes this, okay, it makes it sound prettier. Make it sound prettier if I hit the right notes. Okay, let's try it again. That's nice. Now, the other thing here is this part. I'll show you on screen. I'm not going to pedal through that because we've got rests. And so the artist intended, Grieg, is it Grieg? No, it's Debussy. Debussy intended to only hear right hand notes in this section because otherwise he wouldn't have written rests in the left hand. He wants no sound in the left hand. So let me actually execute this better because last time I held the pedal in through that first rest and that throws off the sound. Pedal again here. These again, they're slurred with staccatos. So that means two things. It's going to be a smooth sound because of the pedal. It's a phrase because of the slur that indicates the phrase. It's not because of the slur that it's phrased, but it is a phrase and the slur indicates that it is a phrase. But the staccatos will make this crispy, pretty. This next part doesn't have a slur and it has no staccatos. So I will play it detached, not smooth because it's not slurred, it's still a phrase. They just didn't indicate that with the slur. But I'm not going to play it staccato because it's only detached. There's no staccato markings. And detach means not slurred, not staccato and not smooth, but that's detached. Okay, the next phrase. Now this one is slurred, so I must play it smooth. And there's no staccatos on it, so I'm not making them ring. That part is super pretty, and I would love to spend more time with it, but we gotta move on. I'm gonna play through the whole song, hopefully. Because that's my goal is to play through the whole song, I'm not gonna stop and practice that section. If it was my goal to improve that section, we would stay on it. So, or if it was my goal to just go through and improve whatever section needs it, we would stay on it. But we're aiming for the end of the song, so that's what we're gonna do. Yeah, because I haven't played this in a while. It's sticky. One measure again. I'm trying to get rid of the hesitation between the triplet and the next note. That's better. I got it on time. It was just cautious when I played it, so I gotta play it again with the same firmness. Because you don't want to tell your brain, I don't know what's going on here. That looks like danger. So when you play something cautiously, try again and play it more confidently. Tell your brain, I know what I'm doing here. And your brain will feed you back, oh, okay, yeah, this is the information we need. Whenever you leave yourself anxious, it's a danger signal. Whenever you play something cautiously, it means, I don't know. That's dangerous. You need to know, so double check it. This will be particularly applicable to people who have experienced trauma. You will normally play cautiously because everything you are used to is wrong. You've walked on eggshells. You have encountered situation after situation where no matter what you did, it was wrong. So when you go to play, you're going to be playing softly. I played softly when I was a child. And it took a couple years and a lot of effort to play firmly. Because when you're traumatized, you're afraid. And fear is caution. Playing cautiously, you're telling your brain you're not sure, this is dangerous. Piano doesn't have to be dangerous. A lot of things in your life are dangerous, but piano doesn't have to be. You want it to be a place where you can relax and you can come to it and you can be in your body, wind down, be you and the music and nobody around. People can be around, but block that out in your mind. You're in a bubble when you're at the piano. What they think doesn't matter. And if you can feel judgment coming towards you from someone, which you can, and you're not wrong if you feel like someone is judging you, they are. Because you don't get that feeling when someone who loves you and isn't judging you is watching or listening. You wouldn't get that feeling. You only get it if it's actually happening. So trust that feeling and don't practice around that person because it will put you on edge. It will make you anxious. You don't want that. Anytime there's somebody around and you start to feel tight and tense, that means you feel anxious. Don't be around that person when you practice. Make your practice a safe place. So schedule it when that person's not around. And I know from trauma how to do this. I'm serious. I'm quite serious. I know that's what you need to do because that's what I had to do. I watched one of my adult students, the first person that I taught piano to was someone very, very close to me. And I watched her lose her passion. She had an amazing passion for piano. I watched her lose her passion over the course of a year, and she stopped wanting to play. And because she stopped wanting to play, I went, okay, we don't play then. You can continue taking lessons when you want to play again. I didn't know at the time what had caused her to lose her passion, but I knew later, after finding out something that had gone on in her life, she had been playing more and more around someone who made her feel tense and afraid. And she wasn't able to verbalize those emotions. She just knew she didn't like playing anymore. She didn't know it was because this person is around. And that's how it is when you're traumatized. You are not safe around some people, but your body feels not safe, but your mind can't accept that that person isn't safe. And so you go, I don't know why I don't feel safe. I just hate piano now. And then you don't want to play. Really, the root is the person who's making you feel judged, made fun of, uncomfortable, hated. Because if those emotions are attached to piano, you're not going to love it. So when you practice, make sure that you're doing it when you feel safe. And create a bubble around yourself so that you either get to the place where you don't care what that person thinks, which is what I had to do in my situation. When I was a little girl, sometimes it's hard when you're traumatized because remembering things puts you back there. And when you were there, you were in your lizard brain, your defensive mode. So it's hard to think. So that's why my blank happened there. I have a lot of blanks and thinking and articulating is difficult. And this is one of the symptoms of ongoing trauma. So you're going to have trouble thinking, actually. So when I was a little girl, I had to work through, I would sit at the piano and be practicing, and this person would come home, and I would continue practicing and get sadder and sadder and sadder because I wished that they would even once tell me that my playing was good. I wished that they cared. So I had to work through this when I was very, very young. And thankfully, my mom had taught me critical thinking. And so I ran everything through this lens of reality. I knew what was true and I knew what wasn't true. And I knew it was true that for at least a couple years at that point, this person had never once showed interest or cared, much less praised or affirmed my pursuit of music. And I thought, that's the reality. And I'm going to be playing for years because my mama wants me to play, because I like playing. So I have to be okay with that person, with never receiving validation from that person. And let me tell you something, I lived with that person for 23 years and I was never once validated. I was validated once for playing something that they liked in public, and it was a sham. It was a sham, and it was based on them. You're gonna have people in your life who are only happy with you when you please them, and it's not worth pleasing them. So either get to the place where it doesn't matter what they think, it doesn't matter if they validate you, it doesn't matter if they hate you, it doesn't matter if they judge you, because you love what you're doing and that's not going to change. Either get to that place, or some people won't have that inside them. And I was not very broken, but some people are broken straight from childhood and are not taught critical thinking and are not taught how to protect themselves, or that they're allowed to protect themselves. I had that foundation, so I was able to go, I don't care what you think. I do, but I will choose not to care because this is more important. I was able to get there, but some people are not going to be able to get there. So if you can't get there, there's nothing, it's not that there's nothing wrong with you. I was going to say there's nothing wrong with you. Obviously, there's something wrong with what you've experienced to get you to the place where you cannot protect or defend yourself. There's been something wrong that's happened to you, and your reaction is perfectly normal. A lot of people are not able to put a dividing line between this person who hates them or who makes them feel small and their own values and what they need. You can't put a dividing line there. So if you can't put a dividing line, choose to practice when that person is not around, because that is safe. If you can't protect yourself when the person is around, by sealing yourself off in your mind, the way that I did, protect yourself physically by actually taking your practice to a different time of day, to a different room, to a different place. Use headphones, do whatever you need to do to get away from the traumatic situation. Because you don't want that affecting this. If you're passionate about this and you love it, do not you lose your love and your passion, because you will lose part of yourself. And I tell you what, it's not worth losing part of yourself to please somebody who is never going to be pleased, no matter how much of you is gone. Don't let them take everything. And if you let them take this, you will let them take everything, because this piano is something that is core in people. If you want to learn it, if you're passionate about learning it, you've been wanting to do it for years, and that's not going to change. And it's part of your makeup. It's what you want to do. So it's part of who you are. So if this is something that you're willing to sacrifice, you're willing to sacrifice anything. Don't. Trust me, do not, because it's very hard to recover. It's hard to recover when you have blocks in your mind, like I did. It's harder when you can't block off anything in your mind, when you don't have any compartmentalization, and you won't if nobody has taught you critical thinking or how to protect yourself, or that it's okay to protect yourself. A lot of people are taught, women, I'm talking about women. I don't know about guys. We are taught that it's okay, that we should let anybody use us and run us through. We are taught that you'll never get a guy if you don't give him whatever he wants. That's wrong. And the guys who are healthy know that. And if you comment and you're a guy and you're like, no, actually you should let him do whatever he wants to you, I will block you. You're an idiot. I'm probably gonna have to edit that out of the video. Anyways, we're taught to let people walk all over us because that's what we're for. So don't let anybody do that. That's not what you're for. That's not what you're for. You're better than that. You're worth much more than that. And if you can't have a person unless they walk all over you and you have to do whatever they want to make them happy, or else, that person's not worth being around. I hope some of that was useful. I'll probably have to chop some of it because I got kind of wound up. Thank you for joining me for this practice. If you like this kind of content, you can like the video, subscribe if you want more, share it with anybody that you think would resonate with it. Don't share it with somebody who isn't accepting that they're in trauma or in abuse. They won't be able to hear it anyways because they are not ready to accept it. Because I know there were people who told me I was being abused. Did I believe them? No. I thought, just because I'm homeschooled doesn't mean I'm abused. And that's true. But that's not what they were talking about. They weren't criticizing normal things. They were criticizing the abuse part of my life. But when you're in abuse, it's part of everything in your life. So it toxifies everything. And you can't tell the difference between what's healthy and not. So you just figure the person is writing off this or writing off that, your unique individual person. When really they're saying, yeah, no, that's not special, that's damage. And it's not that you're homeschooled, that's irrelevant. It's all this abuse. So you can't share abuse with people who are still in it, who haven't accepted it, but you can share it with someone who's coming out of trauma, or who has recognized and admitted to you, wow, I think I'm being abused. You can share it with those people, it'll help. But don't share it if you know they're being abused and they don't know they're being abused. It's not gonna help. Okay, have a great day. Thanks for the practice. I hope you have a good practice yourself. Bye-bye.